Okay, it's rolling. Let me get the book. And let me grab the link so I can share it to people. Share. Copy link. Go to Discord. Just bear with me for a bit, folks. Control V. Control V. Control V. Screw it, I'm just going to send it to servers. Just sending out the link to the stream so more people will know about it. Okay. This will be our final run of the Mario Advance book. This time, we're playing as Peach. Introduction: Mario's Dream. One night, Mario, the world's favorite plumber, had a strange dream. He dreamt that he climbed a long staircase that led to a mysterious door. When he opened the door, he discovered a world that he'd never seen before. A faint voice from the land beyond the door reached him, saying, "Welcome to Subcon, the land of dreams. We have been cursed by Wart and are completely under his evil spell. You are the chosen one. Defeat Wart and return Subcon to normal. Please help us." Just as Mario tried to answer the voice, there was a flash of lightning that blinded him. He lost his balance and fell through the door. He woke with a start and sat up in bed. What a strange dream, he thought. But there was no time to worry about it. Today was the day of his picnic with Luigi, Princess Peach, and Toad. Peach had picked a new spot in the park for their picnic, so Mario walked over to his brother Luigi's house, and they both headed to the park. When they arrived, Peach and Toad were already there. They had a great picnic. When it was over, they decided to explore. They came across a strange passage and a stairway cut into the side of a hill. At the top of the stairs was a door. The door from Mario's dream. Opening the door, the group saw a wondrous land spread out before them. Before they couldn't admire the view for long, a flash of lightning and booming thunder shook the stairs, and all four companions tumbled through the door, falling down into the land of dreams known as Subcon. The adventure begins. Down, down, down the four friends fell until they finally reached the ground. After making sure everyone was all right, Mario saw a small book on the ground, A Traveler's Guide to Subcon. "Now this will come in handy," said Mario. The book contained all of the things the group would need to know to defeat the enemies in their path and challenge Wart for control of the land. Luigi, who had been scouting the hill they were on, looked over Mario's shoulder. That's interesting. Let me see it." Mario turned to hand the guide to Luigi, but a sudden gust of wind snatched the book from Mario's hand and sent it high into the air. They watched helplessly as the book floated on the breeze, landing on a distant hilltop. "We need that book!" exclaimed Mario. "Who will go after the book?" We've had Mario, we've had Luigi, we've had Toad. It's time for the princess herself, Peach. Page 72. The Princess's Adventure. Princess Peach watched Mario and Luigi argue for a few minutes about who should go after the book. Then she decided to take matters into her own hands. She knew that if she spoke up and said that she'd go after the book, all three of her friends would try to stop her from going. So while they were talking and looking into the distance, Peach quietly crept down the path until she was out of sight. Well, that was easy enough, she said with a smile. I'm sure I can find that book faster than they can anyway. The princess followed the path for a bit, heading toward the hill she thought the book had landed on. Suddenly, she heard the others shouting behind her. Oh no, they're coming after me. Don't they think I can do anything on my own? Wondered Peach. She ducked off the path to lose them, but quickly found that leaving the path was a bad idea. She began sliding out of control down a steep hill. Faster and faster she slid, with no way to stop herself. When she reached the bottom of the hill, she tumbled into a deep hole in the ground. After checking to be sure her crown was on straight, Teach looked for a quick way out. She did find a tunnel that went deeper into the ground, but there was no easy way back up the hole she had just fallen through. She decided to follow the tunnel, but just before she entered it, something caught her eye. Sitting on the ground near the tunnel of the entrance was the guidebook. Well, my luck is better than I thought, she said. With that, she picked up the guidebook and entered the tunnel. As she followed the tunnel, she looked at the guidebook. This book will help a lot, she said. It tells me everything I need to know about Subcon and the creatures I'll find here. The tunnel grew colder as she went deeper. Soon she was walking through an icy cavern. Near the end of the cold cave, Peach found a ladder that disappeared into the darkness above. With no other option, she decided to climb and look for a way out. On the level just above her, she found a ledge with a small door on it. She opened the door and stepped through. Page 52. Birdo's Challenge. Peach stood on a snowy path near some hills. Before she could look around, she spotted an odd-looking pink creature nearby. Birdo, she spits eggs that will knock me off the path unless I dodge or catch them, Peach said as she read through the guidebook. Just then, Birdo's mouth opened and an egg came flying at Peach. Peach jumped, landing on the cliff above the door. Birdo couldn't shoot at her up there, but there were several other creatures, blue shy guys the book called them, for her to deal with. She saw some loose grass and pulled it up. A strange sprout was at the end of the grass. Maybe I can use this to get rid of those shy guys, she thought. Peach tossed the sprout at the shy guys. Her timing was perfect. All of them were knocked off the cliff. Now she had to lose Birdo. Peach fell to the ground. Now she discovered that the path ended in the ocean. There was nowhere to go. Peach noticed that Birdo's eggs were flying a long way over the ocean. It says here I can throw 3 of them back to destroy her. Should I do that, or try to ride an egg to see where it takes me, wondered Peach. Obviously, we're going to fight Birdo. Page 68. Peach versus Birdo. Peach decided to fight Birdo before going on. Using the trick the guidebook had taught her, Peach jumped to catch an egg. She ran up to Birdo and threw the egg at her. The egg hit Birdo, and she screamed. Now you've done it, said Birdo. I'm really mad. Birdo threw another egg at Peach, and Peach barely jumped over it in time. Peach timed another jump and caught another egg. She threw it at Birdo, hitting her on the nose. Ouch, wailed Birdo, but she didn't stop throwing eggs. Peach jumped to catch another egg. She hit Birdo with it. This time Birdo screamed, I'll remember this, and disappeared. That takes care of that. She turned to find a way to across the ocean. But it looked like she was going to have trouble crossing, since there was no bridge or path nearby. Peach was looking over the cliff edge at the ocean below when Birdo quietly reappeared behind her. Before Peach even knew Birdo was there, Birdo spit an egg and hit Peach in the back. Peach tried to keep her balance but couldn't hold on. She tumbled into the ocean. As the cold water closed over her head, Peach wondered if the others were going to make it home without her. Page 40. Peach wakes up. Peach woke up. As she sat up in bed, she scratched her head. Was that all just a dream, she wondered? The more she thought about it, the harder it was to remember anything about her at all. The harder it was to remember anything at all about her adventure in Subcon. Ah well, she thought, it must have been a dream. Just then, Mario knocked on the door, and Peach went to open the door for him, forgetting all about the land of Subcon and their quest to defeat the evil Wart. Deep in the land of dreams, the people of Subcon lost hope forever, doomed to live under Wart's control. See, this is why I need a co-host, because I keep making all the bad decisions. Okay, I guess we're gonna float on an egg. Excellent! Peach decided to ride one of Birdo's eggs across the ocean. Timing a jump carefully, she landed on an egg. She rode it over the water and soon saw an island. When the egg reached the island, Peach jumped off. The small island was covered with tufts of grass. She pulled up several of these tufts to reveal more sprouts, but nothing else. Peach climbed to the highest point on the island. Not far away, she could see that the path continued past several towers. Before jumping, Peach spotted several bird-like creatures, tweeters, according to the book, hopping along the path, and she got rid of the first with a sprout she had found on the island. Peach grabbed another sprout and jumped across the water to the path. There were 4 more tweeters on the path, but she threw the sprout and knocked them off. There were 3 towers ahead, but she could only reach the door with the first one. The path dropped off into the ocean ahead, leaving a huge gap before the next section. I can go in this door and explore this tower, or maybe with a running start, I can make the jump over the gap and enter one of the other towers, thought Peach. Let's play it safe. Let's enter the first tower. An icy climb. Peach entered the first tower instead of jumping over the gap. When she entered the tower, she could see many icy platforms leading to the top. She noticed small white creatures. I remember those from the book. They're flurries. I don't want to run into them, said Peach. The icy platforms were slippery, so Peach was careful. The flurries tried to trip her, and she nearly fell several times trying to avoid them. When she could, Peach jumped straight up instead of from side to side. This way, she didn't slide as much and risk falling. When she reached the top, Peach found another door. She was tired, but she opened the door and walked through. She found herself on a platform between 2 towers, high above the ocean. There were 2 doors, one she just came from, and another door in the tower across the platform. She was pretty sure that the second tower was the same one she had just seen across the gap below. I'm not sure what to do, said Peach. There was another tower entrance across the gap at the bottom. Should I try to get to it by using the door in this other tower, or should I climb down and try from there? Let's enter the new door. Peach didn't want to go down the tower she just climbed, so she opened the door in the other tower and went inside. There were some flurries below her. Even worse, there were spikes on 2 of the platforms she would need to use to get down to the bottom of the tower. Peach had an idea. I remember that the spikes in the other tower didn't hurt the flurries. Maybe I can use them to cross the spikes, she decided. She dropped onto a flurry, then picked it up and tossed it into the spikes below. The flurry was angry, but unhurt. Peach quickly threw another flurry onto the next set of spikes, then used the flurry as a stepping stone to cross the spikes. The only way to go from here was down. So Peach fell down the center of the tower, collecting several cherries as she fell. She fell onto a platform with a door in the center, and she opened the door and went inside. There was a key on a platform above her, but the room was protected by some flurries. Peach jumped to get the key, then ran from the room. A Phanto was following her to get the key back, so Peach tossed the key down in front of her as she climbed to the bottom of the tower. When she reached the bottom, her key unlocked the nearby door, and she walked out of the tower into the sunlight again. Page 12. Almost there. Peach entered the second tower. She was ready to climb, but this tower was different. Instead of a huge room, this room was small and packed with enemies. Using the guidebook, she could spot some flurries, Bezos, and Shy Guys. Oh my, I'll have to move fast to make it past all of them, she thought. And that's just what she did. Peach used her gliding ability to sail past the enemies and make a dash for the exit. She almost got caught by a flying Bezo, but she managed to jump over it just in time. The tunnel ahead looked scary, but it was less scary than staying in this room, so she ran down the tunnel. Turn to page 36. Peach versus Fry Guy. The tunnel Peach was in led to a small room. Looking around nervously, she stepped into the room. Mario? She called. Suddenly, a flame flew past her face. It danced and spun around the room, and she quickly checked the guidebook. Fry Guy. He's tough. I've got to avoid his flames and find something to throw at him, thought Peach. She searched the room and found some mushroom-shaped blocks. Taking careful aim, she picked up a mushroom block and hit Fry Guy with it. This didn't stop him, but Peach dodged his attacks and picked up another block. This time, Fry Guy seemed to be hurt, but he didn't stop attacking. Once more, Peach grabbed a mushroom block and threw it, hitting Fry Guy on top of the head. Fry Guy wailed in pain, but instead of disappearing, he split into 4 mini Fry Guys. "Oh no, what have I done?" wailed Peach. There was no time for her to waste. Peach had to hit each one of the mini Fry Guys with a mushroom block before they got her. They were much faster than Fry Guy, so he had to dodge them quickly while gathering blocks. Shouldn't that be she? One by one, Peach hit them with the mushroom blocks until all 4 of them were destroyed. "That's it, I win," said Peach. She walked into the tunnel ahead, hoping that it would lead her back to her friends. As she walked through the tunnel, Peach felt the floor begin to slope down. Soon it became hard to stand as the floor became even steeper. She stumbled, and suddenly she was sliding down the steep tunnel. A dim light appeared ahead and grew steadily brighter. Peach could see it pulsing and swirling. She was sliding right for it. Unable to stop herself, Peach slid into the light. She immediately found herself standing on a grassy path. Several people were ahead on the path, and because she didn't know what else to do, she walked toward them. As she got closer to them, she could see that one of them was wearing blue overalls and a red shirt. "Mario!" she cried. The group of people, who she could now see were her friends, turned and saw her, and she ran to meet them. Page 50. Together again. The 4 friends were finally together again. After everyone had a chance to talk about their adventures, it was time to get down to business. "Now that we've got the guidebook," said Mario, "let's see if we can find this wart and save Subcon." With a cheer, they set off. It wasn't long before they came to their first challenge. The path they were on led to a ladder. One by one, they climbed the ladder until they reached the ground above. Toad ran ahead a bit and came running back. "There's one of those pipes on top of this hill," he said, "but I can't jump high enough to reach it." Luigi, who could jump higher and farther than anyone, took a look. "I can reach it," he said. "Wait, Luigi," said Mario. "Maybe we should leave it alone and keep going. After all, we need to find our way to Ward as quickly as possible." And we know what to do from here. Let Luigi jump into the pipe. The search for Luigi. Luigi quickly climbed down into the pipe. "Oh my!" they heard him shout, and then he disappeared down the pipe. "Luigi?" Mario called, but there was no answer. "I don't like this," said Toad. Mario knew that Peach was the only one of them besides Luigi who could jump to the pipe. "Peach, could you jump up there and see if Luigi's all right?" "Sure I will," said Peach, as she jumped onto the ledge near the pipe. "I don't see him inside, but I do see a bright light way down at the bottom of this pipe." Peach looked at Mario. "Mario, Luigi's gone." Mario nodded. "I thought so. Luigi must have found a warp. There's no way to tell where it took him without following. I'm not sure. It could have taken him to another world or just somewhere else in this one. We can't leave him alone. Help us up, Peach. We have to go after him." Page 26. Down the pipe. Peach helped the others reach the ledge. Then all of them jumped into the pipe. They fell toward the light below, which grew brighter as they fell closer to it. One minute they were sliding down the pipe, the next they were standing on a platform high in the clouds. "Ah, there you are," said Luigi, who had been waiting for them to arrive. "I didn't know if you'd follow me or not." Toad was already looking around, and as always, he was impatient to get moving. Peach and Mario were talking quietly, trying to decide what to do. "I think we've got to go that way," said Luigi, pointing at some tall towers in the distance. "We can't go back, I already tried." The others agreed, and so they set off. As they jumped across the platforms in the clouds, they had to battle swarms of enemies. Mario read the guidebook, and they used what they learned to get past them all. They reached the tower ahead and saw a sign outside. "Wart's Castle, visitors not welcome." "It's Wart's Castle! We've made it!" cried Mario. They all quickly ducked inside. It was dark and gloomy. "This is scary," said Peach. Everyone agreed, but they knew that they had to keep going to find Wart. The first room of the castle was a maze of poles and platforms. Luigi led the way since his jumping ability made it easier for him to defeat the enemies in the path. They came to a pole that led down to the floor. "Should we go down," said Luigi, "or take that pole up through the ceiling?" He pointed to a pole off in the distance that hung down within reach. "Let's go up," said Toad. "I'll bet that nasty wart is at the top of the castle." "Maybe so," said Mario, "but he could be in the dungeon too." "We know he's in the top, so we're going to go to the top." Wart's castle. They climbed up the pipe one by one. When they reached the top, Toad scampered ahead and returned quickly. There's a door on the other side of this room, but there's also another chain we can climb that's hanging from the center of the room. Before they could decide which way to go, they had to battle the enemies in the room. Luigi led the way again, and they all got rid of them quickly. I vote we climb up, said Mario. The jump to that door looks too far for Toad and me. Peach and I can help you, Mario, said Luigi. I'll bet that door is a shortcut. Either way is probably right, said Peach. Let's just pick one. We're gonna go through the door. Wart's castle, courtyard. The group was in a small courtyard. There was a ladder and they climbed up. We must be outside the castle entrance, said Peach. The ladder should lead to the door we need to use. Since she knew more about castles than everyone else, they agreed to follow her. Peach led the way up the ladder, when suddenly a fireball came flying right at her. She dodged it, but a second one came much closer. She climbed down the ladder. Mario, check the guidebook. There's something up there throwing fireballs. Mario looked through the guidebook. It's Panzer! If we had something to throw, we could get past him. We'll have to dodge his attacks as we climb the ladder. They carefully made their way up the ladder. The higher they went, the harder it was for Panzer's attacks to reach them. Soon they were out of his range. At the top, they found the main door to Wart's castle. They rested, then agreed to step inside and find Wart. Inside, they found themselves about halfway up a tower. Toad pointed to a door at the top of the tower. They jumped on platforms and reached the door. Once everyone was at the top, they opened the door and stepped inside. Page 66. Decision time. Once they were through the door, the four friends were in a long hallway. In the middle of the hallway, there was a locked door. I'll bet that's the way in, said Luigi. You're probably right, agreed Mario, but where's the key? In addition to the locked door, there was another door and several chains hanging down through openings in the hallway floor. Let's split up and check out the chains in the other door, suggested Peach. We can take a quick peek and then meet back here. They all agreed and split up to find the key. We're going to go with Toad and Peach since this is the Peach run. So page 22. Toad and Peach. Peach and Toad decided to search together, but first they tried to open the locked door. They tugged on the door to see if they could force it open, but it didn't work. Let's see what's behind this other door, said Peach. They opened the door and entered the small room behind it. Looks like a storage closet to me, said Toad. He was right, there wasn't much to see in the dusty room. I don't think we'll find the key here. Let's go see if Mario and Luigi are having any luck, suggested Peach. Back in the hallway, they found Mario. I didn't find it, he said, but I did find Birdo. He told them about battling Birdo and about not finding the key. Peach stuck her head through the opening in the floor. Luigi had explored and yelled down to him. Luigi, the key has to be down there. Mario couldn't find it and neither did we. Do you need help? No thanks, said Luigi. I can handle this. Peach stood up and walked over to Mario. He says he can handle it, so I guess we should just wait for him. Mario nodded, but he moved closer to the hole Luigi had gone through, just in case Luigi called for help. Page 34. Wart's castle, outside Wart's lair. Luigi emerged with the key and everyone cheered. Piece of cake, said Luigi. He unlocked the door and the four friends entered the next room. They saw a tunnel. I'll bet that leads to Wart, said Toad, and he ran to it. Toad, wait! Cried Mario. Toad stopped and waited for the others. That bird mask over the tunnel entrance looks different. We must be careful. We're almost there. Toad nodded, and the group slowly neared the tunnel. There was a crystal in front of the tunnel, and some mushroom blocks. Luigi grabbed the crystal and handed it to Mario. This should unlock the tunnel, Luigi said. Look out, cried Peach. The brothers saw Peach duck to avoid the attack. The mask flew through the air and swooped to attack again. Luigi, grab a mushroom block, yelled Mario. They both grabbed a block and threw it. The mask didn't stop attacking them. Mario tried again. This time the block stopped the attack, allowing them to enter the tunnel. Everyone be ready, said Mario. I've got a feeling that Wart's on the other side of this tunnel. Page 78. Wart. As the companions entered Wart's chamber, they couldn't see much at first. It was very dark, but they could see something moving across the room. They cautiously crossed the room, and a booming voice stopped them in their tracks. Well, I see that you've made it at last, said Wart. Too bad it was all for nothing. Wart was a huge, ugly frog, and his voice boomed in the chamber. Subcon is mine, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. We'll see, said Mario, and he charged right at Wart. Toad and Luigi were right behind him, but Wart just laughed and spit out 3 bubbles of foam. Mario, Luigi, and Toad couldn't stop in time. The bubbles surrounded them, lifting them off the floor. Too bad, Mario, said Wart. Maybe that will teach you. Wart had been so busy dealing with Mario and the others, he had forgotten about Peach. Peach saw a strange machine near Wart and she walked over to it. While she was looking at the machine and Wart was dealing with Mario, a vegetable came out of the machine. Peach grabbed the veggie and threw it at Wart while he was taunting Mario. Take that, you big meanie, she yelled. The vegetable went right in Wart's open mouth, and he had to stop yelling at Mario. I hate vegetables, said Wart. He turned his attention to Peach, but another veggie was on the way into his mouth. Wart began spitting foam bubbles at Peach, but she dodged them all as she waited for more veggies from the machine. Each time she got one, she waited for Wart to taunt her, then she tossed one into his open mouth. Go Peach! Yelled Mario, and the others chimed in, cheering her on. Wart was frantically tossing bubbles at Peach, but she easily glided past him and tossed the 5th and final veggie into Wart's mouth. Yuck! Screamed Wart, and with that, he began to disappear. No! You can't do this! Subcon is mine! Wart's screams grew fainter and fainter until at last he was gone. Page 54. Victory! We did it, squealed Peach. The foam bubbles holding the others popped, and they all met in the center of the room. Great job, Peach, said Mario. I'm sorry we weren't much help. Mario, we beat Wart together. I never would have been able to get to that machine without your help. With that, Peach kissed Mario on the cheek, and Toad and Luigi smiled. Just then, a strange light appeared in the chamber, and a voice spoke to them. Thank you, my friends. Subcon is now free, and we have you to thank. The land of dreams will be as it always was. It is within our power to grant you all a wish. Name it, and you shall have it. The 4 friends looked at one another and smiled. Mario spoke for the group. We don't need anything. We have one another. Very well, Mario. Know that your names will be forever remembered in Subcon. Go now. We will see you again in your dreams. With that, the light and the voice faded away. Mario turned to Peach and was about to say something when he realized she was gone. Toad and Luigi were gone too. Mario started to worry, but then he saw that he was no longer in Wart's chamber. Back at home, Mario tossed and turned in his sleep. Suddenly, he woke up. We did it, he said. Just then, someone knocked on his door. He went to answer it and found Peach, Luigi, and Toad outside. They all smiled and came inside, talking about their adventure. As they were talking, there was another knock on the door. A messenger was outside. He handed Mario a letter. Mario tore it open to reveal a sheet of paper. Mamma mia, he said, and showed them the paper. A single sentence was written on it. It's not over yet. I'll be back, signed Wart. The companions looked at one another and shrugged. Mario said, as long as we're together, Wart doesn't stand a chance. With that, they tossed the letter into the trash and left to celebrate their victory. The end. Now, originally I was going to save this for its own stream, but what the heck, it's only like 7 pages. At the end of the book, A Traveler's Guide to Subcon. Let's read through. A Traveler's Guide to Subcon. Welcome! If you found this book, then you have entered the world of dreams. Subcon isn't like any other world, so you'll need this guidebook to help you find your way. Use this guide to help you find out about your own abilities, as well as those of various creatures that live here. Enjoy your stay in Subcon. Signed, the Subcon Tourism Board. Characters. Luigi. Luigi, you can jump higher and farther than Toad and your brother Mario. You move more slowly when carrying items, and that will affect your jumping ability as well. Mario. Your abilities in Subcon Mario are the most well-rounded. You can jump well, carry items without losing much speed, and you can run fairly fast. Peach. Princess, you have the ability to fly for short periods of time while in Subcon. This means that you can usually reach the same areas Luigi can, although if you're carrying something, you won't be able to get as far. Toad. Toad, you're the speedster in Subcon. You can run faster, and anything you're carrying won't affect your speed. Use it well, you'll need it. Items. As you travel through Subcon, you'll find all sorts of interesting things along the way. Check this section for descriptions of the items you find. Bomb. This little guy is a walking time bomb, so why is he in the items section? Because you can pick him up and throw him like a bomb. Bomb. These little black bombs will flash, then explode. Don't be close to one when it goes off. Cherry. You'll find these floating in the air. Grab 5 of them and a Starman will appear. Coin. A coin is your reward for searching carefully. Look carefully to find them all. Heart. Grab a heart when it appears. It increases the amount of lives you have left. Key. You'll find locked doors throughout Subcon. Use keys to unlock them, but beware of the Phantos. They will chase you if you are holding a key. Mushroom block. These mushrooms can take serious punishment. Use them as shields against enemy attacks, and also to hurt enemies. You can pick them up and stack them any way that you like. One-up mushroom. Reach out and catch one, and you'll gain a new life. Potion. Potions are the key to unlocking Subspace. Subspace is an alternate world where you will find coins, and if you use the potion in the right place, Subspace mushrooms. Pow. Pow blocks shake the ground when dropped, knocking all of the enemies you can see off the path. They don't hurt you, though. Rocket. These rare items will allow you to jump on them and take off. Shell. When you throw a shell toward the ground, it will slide along until it hits something, then rebound. It will keep sliding back and forth until it hits something. Caution, the shell can knock you off the path as well as your enemies, so jump over it. Sprout. Sprouts are found at the end of grass tufts that you'll see throughout Subcon. Toss them at enemies to knock them off the path. A sprout can hit several enemies if the enemies are lined up, so try to time your throw to get them all. Starman. When you eat 5 cherries, a Starman appears. Catch the Starman and you'll become invulnerable. No enemies can hurt you for a short time. Any enemy you run into while you have the Starman will be knocked off the path. Stopwatch. Use this item to stop time and your enemies in their tracks. Subspace Mushroom. You'll find these in Subspace if you use potions in the right places. These will either heal you or add another life. Vegetables. Most vegetables are found the same way sprouts are found, by pulling up grass. There are large and small veggies in Subcon, but they work the same way sprouts work. Throw them at enemies for best results. Wart hates vegetables. Enemies. Albatross. An albatross doesn't directly attack you. They carry other creatures, especially bob-ombs, so watch out. Autobomb. An autobomb rolls at you, following you around until it explodes. Get behind something or use a POW block to get rid of these. Bezo. These flying menaces are big trouble. They will dive at you and try to skewer you as they fly by. You can jump onto them and catch a free ride, but you can't catch them. Birdo. Birdo appears several times in the land of Subcon, but this bad girl is easily defeated. Jump above one of her eggs and land on it. Push the B button to catch it and throw it at her. Hit her several times and hit her 3 times and she'll be history. I don't know why I said several. Bomb. These walking bombs are nothing to fool around with. If you can avoid them, do so. You can also pick them up and throw them like bombs, but be quick. Claw Grip. You have to use this crabby character's own rocks against him. Pick up 3 and toss them right back at him. Cobrat. You'll find these slithery serpents inside some jars. Wait for them to duck inside, then jump over them. You can also land on them and throw them like other enemies. Watch out, some Cobrats may shoot bullets at you. Flurry. Found in the winter zones of Subcon, flurries lurk in the clouds and love to knock travelers off their ridges. Fry Guy. If you hit this hothead 3 times with mushroom blocks, he'll split into 4 smaller versions. You have to hit all of them in order to get rid of them. Hoopster. Hoopsters slide up and down the vines in Subcon. Jump to another vine when a hoopster gets close to you, or knock them off the vines with a veggie or sprout. Mouser. This bomb-tossing rodent is a pest. When you face him, use mushroom blocks as a shield, then toss something on his head. Hit him 3 times to finish him off. Ninja 1. Ninja 1s are quick, so keep moving to avoid them. Ninja 2. Ninja 2s jump a lot, but they don't hurt much if you hit one. Still, you're better off avoiding these pests. Ostro. Ostro carries other bad guys like Shy Guys. Ostro is very fast, so watch out for his hit and run tactics. Panzer. This fireball tosser is a real hothead. Throw another enemy at him or dodge his fireballs if you want to get past him. Phanto. These creatures protect all keys in Subcon. While you are holding a key, a Phanto will chase you. Drop the key often to avoid them, then pick it up again as you go on your way. Pidgeot. This mini menace rides a flying carpet. Jump on top of them and toss them off the carpet to get a free ride. Pokey. This tall creature looks like a cactus, but it isn't. It's tough to jump over a Pokey unless you're on top of something else. They also aren't stopped by obstacles like a cactus in your path. Porcupo. Don't land on these creatures or you'll regret it. Jump over these spiny guys or get rid of them with something else. Shy Guy. These little pests slide along the ground or ledges and will damage you if they hit you. Jump over them or pick them up and throw them off a ledge or at one another to get rid of them. Sniffets. Sniffets are similar to Shy Guys, but they shoot bullets at you. Time your movements to avoid them. Spark. Sparks are pesky, fast-moving critters that guard platforms in underground areas. They are hard to catch, so try to avoid them if possible. You can throw other enemies at them to knock them out of the way as well. Trouter. Watch out for these jumping fish near waterfalls. Time your jump so that you avoid them. Triclide. A 3-headed serpent is no laughing matter. Watch out for Triclide's long-range fireball attacks. Use mushroom blocks to shield yourself, then drop them on his head to get rid of him. Tweeter. These wacky birds hop across the ground as they approach. Watch their pattern and get rid of the veggie or another enemy. Wart. The big boss is no pushover. Wart will attack with foam bubbles that will destroy you on impact. Use the vegetable machine and toss 5 veggies into his open mouth. After he swallows the 5th one, he's a goner. And just like that, we've come to the end of the Super Mario Advance book that I read when I was in detention as a kid because I got bullied a lot. Our education system's weird. They bully the victims, they punish the victims more than the bullies, but you know what? At least I got this cool book out of it. And thanks to that book, I got some streams out of it, and you guys got some entertainment out of it. So is it really that bad? Yeah, it was. Bye.